Damien Bartonek here on behalf of Fox West Texas, and joining me is Congressman Pfluger. Mr. Pfluger, it's been a big year in your eyes for 2023. Tell me a little bit about some of the things that cause success for this district.
Well, thank you for having me. It has been a big year, and while we have had our fair share of drama at the federal level, it is a successful year for us. We've gotten a lot of pieces of legislation through, over 140 that I have individually sponsored and many others that I've co-sponsored. But really, when you look at it, let's just boil it down to why I'm up there, and that's to fight for West Texas. It's to fight for the district that I represent. It's to fight for energy dominance, border security, agriculture, and the military. And all of those things we've been able to check off. There is still more to do. The job is not done, but we've made progress in each one of those categories.
Absolutely, and I saw in the press release you sent $3.6 million to constituents, answering over 120,000 emails, calls, texts, all that stuff to constituents. Tell me how important that is.
I would say the number one job that I do comes from the 6 offices that I have, helping constituents. These are veterans who need help with the Veterans Administration. These are people who have questions about Social Security or the IRS. Maybe they have money that's tied up in these federal agencies, and our wonderful staff here in the district, from Midland and Odessa all the way to Killeen, helps them get the case resolved. We've resolved hundreds and thousands of cases, and like you said, over $3.6 million back to constituents. That's their money, and we're helping get that back into their pockets.
Absolutely, and you mentioned Killeen, Odessa as well. You also opened new offices out there as well.
Yeah.
Tell me how important that was this year.
Well, I represent Killeen, and Fort Hood, now called Fort Cavazos, is there. What a legacy of service, but there's never been a congressional office in Killeen, Texas until we opened one, and that was a really momentous day for that community because there are so many veterans. There are people who need help with their families, military service members, and so the community, I think, rallied around our office, and now we are right in the middle of the office there. And many people in the Concho Valley know Keisha David because Keisha worked here in San Angelo in our congressional office, and she is the regional rep who works in Killeen, Texas. She was a child stationed with her father on Fort Hood years ago. For her to come back and now be a part of that office and to have a tie to San Angelo is really neat.
Absolutely. And just a couple more on 2023 before we transition to 2024, big year. Tell me, in 2023, you also had a student leadership program. Tell me how important that was to you. Tell me, obviously that was the first year, so it sets the tone, I would hope. Tell me, looking forward and also looking back at the program, what did that mean to you?
Well, we had over 75 kids come to our Student Leadership Summit. Angelo State helped us host this, grateful for their service and willingness to partner. But these kids came from all over the district, from Midland, from Killeen, from everywhere in between. They gathered and talked about important issues, leadership challenges, and what they can do as high school sophomores, juniors, and seniors as they go into college, what they can do to help serve this country in many different ways. And I'll tell you, the kids learned something, but I learned even more than they did, because when you hear these kids and their ideas about what it means to be an American and how they can be a part of the community, it just blows you away.
And I saw as well, Senator Cornyn was here, I believe. Tell me, man, I just came to San Angelo literally a year ago. That was, my first time ever in West Texas. And you don't really see a lot of prominent figures coming to San Angelo, to West Texas. Whenever we look at that and we bring in someone like that, what did that do for the community? What does that do in your eyes as well?
Well, we're 20 plus years of the legislative summit that happens here in San Angelo, where lawmakers from the state level, the local level, and the federal level come together. We were fortunate to have not only Senator Cornyn, but also Senator Joni Ernst.
Yeah.
And she serves on the Agriculture Committee and the Armed Service Committee. What could be more perfect to have a representative, a senator from Iowa who understands agriculture and military just like the Concho Valley does. Lots of great discussions. The community loved seeing her, loved talking to John Cornyn, and loved talking to my colleagues from the House of Representatives, which we had almost 10 that joined us. It was a great opportunity. We do it every August, and it's almost 1,000 people that come to this, so it's a big deal.
It's a big year, but I know obviously you have your priority is this region, this district. Tell me how you're going to be able to navigate staying focused on this district, this region, with such a big election coming up in 2024.
Well, I'll tell you what, regardless of when the election is, regardless of who's on the ballot, the most important priority that I'm carrying into 2024 is border security. and you see the tragedy that's unfolding. In the past couple of weeks, we've seen the numbers really get to a point, it's a breaking point. I serve on Homeland Security. I've led on this issue for 3 years. And we're going to continue to really push the White House to take this seriously, because kids are being trafficked, adults are being assaulted. It's a bad situation with fentanyl, with people that match the terror watch list. I am laser focused, and I have the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson's word that he is going to make this the priority. So nothing else needs to happen in 2024 until we get border security under control, which is exactly what my priority is going to be. There's lots of other things to talk about: energy dominance, agriculture, a farm bill, things that affect us in our economy, bringing inflation down. But border security will remain my priority until the White House does their job and shuts it down to a point where it's manageable, like we had in previous administrations.
As a human being, I know, we all go through our ups and downs of life, but whenever you have an election year, you're working in the realm that you work in, how difficult is it to stay locked in on your overall goal when you have such huge implications going on, up in Washington, D.C.?
My focus is doing a good job for this district. That includes serving the constituents that you asked about earlier that need help, and it includes doing good legislation. And I'm not worried about the political side. If we just do a good job on those, that will take care of itself. We are focused on serving this community, serving the 20 counties, including Midland and Odessa, Killeen, Brownwood, Llano, and San Angelo, and everywhere in between.
Absolutely.
That's going to remain our focus. And I'm proud of our team, and thankful to my wife and kids to allow me to do this job and serve in this way.
And a couple more for you on 2024. Let's talk about this district again. You said this year was successful. 2023 was a good year, but you said the job's not finished. Like Kobe Bryant said, job's not done. Tell me, what are some things that you're looking to attack in 2024 and continue on next year?
You bet. We'll start with border security. That will be the priority. And we'll continue to lead on the Homeland Security Committee like I have. I'm on the Energy and Commerce Committee. And when it comes to affordable, reliable fuel that every American should have access to, let's look about 100 miles west of here to Midland, Odessa, to the Permian Basin that produces 40+% of the country's oil. And that oil is a tool of national security. And I want to make sure that I educate my colleagues to let them know that, yes, we can help the environment. We can continue to bring emissions down, and that starts by producing here. And then you go into what our farmers and ranchers need. We need a farm bill. It's actually expiring at the end of this year. We've extended it as it was written by my predecessor, Mike Conaway, but we need a good farm bill. We're going to do that in early 2024. There's so many other priorities, but suffice it to say that the debt that this country is facing, we need to have a solution for that. I'm proud to partner with people like Jody Arrington and others who they're on the right committees. They have answers for this. We need to get our political climate right. And we're going to make some hard choices, but I'm confident that we can get this done. And 2024 is going to be a good year. I'm hopeful for this country, but we're also facing a very, very dangerous world when you look at what's happening in Ukraine, the terror attacks in Israel, and what the Chinese Communist Party is looking to do to undermine our own security. So those are the issues I'm going to lead on, and excited about 2024 for this country to get back on its feet and to be strong.
Absolutely, Congressman. I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me. And tell your daughter I said hello. I hope to read to her class again in the near future.
Damien, she loved when you came and read. Thanks for what you do around the community, and thanks for having me today.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.